Hello and welcome back to the Friendly Neighborhood Technician Podcast. Today we are going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, trainees. And maybe you're thinking about becoming a technician and you're going to be a trainee, or maybe you already are a trainee and you need some pointers and you need some ideas on how to be better at being a trainee and how to work towards being a technician for whenever you get put on the line. So let's get into that. Before we do, because it's Christmas, let's have a nice festive Christmas beer. So, that being said, let's get to it. Number one, and probably one of the most important ones, be on time. And whenever your schedule is, whenever your shift is, if it's 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 7 to 4, if it's any of those times, that means be ready to work at 8 o'clock. You're in your stall at 8 o'clock working, 8 to 5. Not get to work at 8 and then go get changed, go put your work clothes on, go turn on your computer, log into everything you need to log into, and then by 8:15, 8:20, then you're ready to work. No. If you're at work, if you get to work at 8 o'clock, you're already late. So just make sure, be ready to work whenever you're supposed to be there. Also, at the same time, work till 5. If you're work till 5, 6, 4, whenever you're off, work until then, not leave walking to your car by then. Then, because if you, again, you walk into your car by the time you're supposed to be off, that means you cut out another 15 minutes of work time. And if you got to work at 8 and now you're walking to your car at 5, then you just lost 30 minutes of productivity that you could have been using to fix another car. So, number 2, hustle. Now, what I mean by hustle is don't walk as slow as you can. When you have to walk someplace, make sure there's a little bit of speed in your step. Especially like where my stall is for when I have a trainee, where my stall is complete opposite end of the shop from everything else, except the parking lot. But if you have to go to the bathroom, if you have to go turn a repair order in, if you have to go talk to a service advisor, mine is the very, very, very last stall before the back of the building. So if you have to go do any of those, make sure you're walking quickly to get there back and forth. Don't take your sweet time getting back and forth to wherever you need it. And but it doesn't matter if you're right next door to something. Don't take your sweet time walking there. And number 3, listen. So do what you're told and how you're told to do it. When you have a lot of experience, when you have some years under your belt, then you can start figuring out how you like to do things, how they work for you, and how you want to do your own process and everything like that. But when you're with a trainee, mentor, team leader, however you want it, whatever they're called is, whatever the title is, do what you're told and how you're told to do it. If the trainer says do not do this, make sure you don't do that, because when the trainer leaves you to your own devices, and he comes back and you've done the thing that you were told not to do, you might have some words spoken to you. So just make sure you follow instructions and as closely as possible. And if you're unsure of something, make sure you ask questions. You're never going to get, at least by me, you're never going to get in trouble by asking questions. I would rather you ask a question and understand than don't ask a question and you screw something up. So again, always ask questions if you don't understand when something you're told or instructions you're given. And number 4, be ready and willing to learn. So you're a trainee. Your title's trainee, and you're there to be trained. That's what a trainee does. You train. And so, like I said, be prepared to learn. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn other ways, many, many different ways to do things. How we do it is the trainees rotate. So they'll spend some time with a team leader, they'll spend time with the next team leader, or assistant team leader. So usually we have between 3 and 6 trainees, and every month they'll rotate. They'll go on a 1-month rotation, then they'll go on a 3-month rotation. So you're going to learn a different way each time to do the same thing. So just keep that in mind, and know that you're going to learn many, many different ways to do the same job. Number 5, don't act like you know everything, because you don't. And just like Bill and Ted said, the only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing, which is true because you don't know anything. And even if you graduated from some community college, or you went to UTI or WyoTech or any of those trade schools, yeah, you know some things, but compared to the guy that's training you, you don't know anything. So you need to be able to realize that and open your mind to learning. Number 6, learn from your screw-ups. When you screw up, what you're going to do, learn from that. You need to learn how not to do things. Okay, I did it this way and I screwed up. I'm going to go ahead and not do it that way from now on. And realize that you've made a mistake, acknowledge that you made a mistake, and don't try to sit there and be like, oh, this and that. What about this? No. You made a mistake. Just deal with it. Move on. Learn from it. Just make sure you don't do it again. And do whatever you have to do to not make those same mistakes. One thing I was told a long time ago is never walk away from a bolt that's not tight. So, which means if you thread in a bolt, like, oh, I'm going to do it, don't turn around and then get sidetracked and do something else. Make sure that bolt's tight before you walk away, especially drain plugs. Because what's going to happen is you're going to turn around, you're going to walk away, you're going to forget to tighten that drain plug, and then you're going to get oil all over someone's driveway, and then you're going to get in trouble for that, and then you're probably going to get a day off for that if the oil touches the driveway. Just learn from the mistake. Like, one thing I always do, especially on the Mercedes engines, is with the oil filter, especially the oil filter when it's really difficult to see, such as on the CLAs, GLAs, the oil filter is all the way in the back of the engine. When I loosen them up, I always stick a long extension like that on there, and I leave it on there once it's loose. That way I can see, I have a visual cue that I know, hey, I didn't tighten that oil filter up, so don't start the engine before tightening it up, or you're going to get oil everywhere. Even if the oil filter's on the front of the engine, I'll do the same thing. I'll leave that long extension sticking off there, so because at least you can't shut the hood without paying more attention to that oil filter. So just if you have to do something like that, do something like that. It helps. And then number 7, take responsibility for your screw-ups. Like I said, if you screw something up, don't try to pass the buck and blame it on something else, oh, such and such. Just deal with it, realize you made a mistake, man up, or woman up, and learn from that mistake. Number 8, don't argue. Again, you don't know everything. So when you're getting trained by someone who has more than a decade of experience, don't sit there and argue with them about how things are, because you're not right. Because he's been doing that for a decade longer than you, and pretty much what they say goes. So there's no reason to argue for it. There's no reason to argue about anything, basically. So just don't do it. I actually had this conversation with a trainee when I told him that he argued too much. I said, "You argue too much." He goes, "No, I don't." So I honestly asked him, I was like, "Are you screwing with me? Like you didn't hear what you just said right now?" He's like, "I don't argue." It's like, whatever, dude. Just go back to doing what you're doing. Number 9, ask for something to do. There is always something to do. Even if there's nothing to do, there's always something to do. If you don't have any work, pick up a mop. If you don't have a mop, pick up a broom. Clean something up. Do something. Don't just stand around and do nothing, because, again, you're not going to get in trouble for cleaning something when there's nothing to do. If you finished up with a car, you go turn in the repair order and there's no work waiting for you when you get back, clean something. Or you mean that your trainer, your team leader, whatever, is not going to sit there and get on you for cleaning something, for staying busy, because that's what you're there to do. You're there to stay busy. So always find something to do. There's always something to clean. You can clean up, put tools away, get ready for the next job if you don't already have it, if there's no RO waiting for you. Stuff like that. It's simple. and you look busy, and that's basically what they're looking for, is can you keep yourself busy when you don't have a repair order sitting there waiting for you to do something to. And then, which is actually number 10 also, always be doing something. And like I said, just if you run out of things to do, start cleaning something. That's the safe bet. And number 11, don't have your hands in your pockets. Hands in your pockets don't make money. So again, stay busy. Don't sit down for basic tasks. And what I mean by that is, if you have a car, it's check engine light, you need to check for codes on it. So you get the computer, you hook it up to the car, and now our computers for Mercedes-Benz are on a cart, and they have there's a computer on top, there's a battery charger on top of that also, and it's a little bit more than waist high for me, at least, because I'm short, a little bit more than waist high. So you don't need to sit down to use those, and they're roll around, so you can stand there, you can position them however you want. The arguing trainee that I had, I went to the restroom, I said, hey, check this car for codes. And I came back from the restroom, and he had pulled the car in behind my 2 stalls. He got 2 stalls like that. He pulled the car behind and then got the computer, hooked it up to it. Then he went and got my stool, and then took my stool all the way. He doesn't have a stool. Only I have a stool. I have a stool that he took all the way to the end of the stalls, sat down, and was checking for codes on the computer. Now, you don't need to sit down for that, because while the computer is loading, it takes a while. It takes a few minutes for the computer to load, for the computer to check for codes. You could be doing an MPI on that car. You could be setting tire pressures. You could be doing anything, inspecting the car while it's on the ground. Check the tire tread measurements. Check the brake pads measurements. Do something besides sit there. You don't need a stool to check for codes. Again, it's one of those things where you need to look busy and stay busy. Not just look busy, but actually be busy. And so don't sit down, because that's my stool. That's not his stool. That's my stool. And yeah, and keep your phone out of your hands. You don't have to. I'm not going to say put your phone away, because a lot of people need to make sure they get a phone call if you have emergency, and family needs to get a hold of you. That's fine, whatever. But don't be standing there, again, computers checking for codes, scrolling through your phone. You don't need to be doing that. There's always something to do. Now, if you have to take a call, if you have to make a call, let somebody know. That's perfectly fine. Hey, I got to go make this call real quick. I'm going to go make a call. Cool. Thanks for letting me know, so I know where you are and I know about when to expect you back. That's cool. Thank you. So that's another thing. Another thing, don't let your nickname be Gspot. Now, one of our team leaders is my team leader. Our trainee calls him Gspot, but and it's quite funny because he calls him Gspot because he's impossible to find. You don't want to be that while you're a trainee. Because the last thing you want is for your team leader to turn around, but where's my trainee at? I haven't seen him for a long time. What's he doing? If you're going to go do something, let your trainer know what you're going to do, where you're going to go do it. If you're going to go to the bathroom, cool, go to the bathroom. If you're going to go make that phone call, cool, go make that phone call. If you're going to go help another technician, hey, he's got some tires he needs to bust out, cool, go do that. Don't just disappear, go do those tires, because then your trainer's standing around like, where's this guy at? So do that, and again, make sure you're able to be found. And if you're going to be out of your stall, let the trainer know you're going to be out of your stall. Simple as that. And then don't get too comfortable. What I mean by this is, again, that arguing trainee, he got too comfortable too quickly with. I think his rapport with people around was a little bit too comfortable, so people didn't quite know him like that when he would make jokes. Again, taking my stool out to the end of the stall. One thing he did was I have a radio at work with a little Bluetooth adapter on it. Went to the bathroom, came back, and he's playing his music on my radio. That's not your radio, dude. That's my radio. My shit's not your shit. So don't touch my radio. Don't connect your phone to my radio, so I get to listen to your crappy music. You get to listen to my crappy music. That's what your job is. Fix cars and listen to my crappy music. So just your stuff is your stuff. Don't think that because you're getting trained by this dude, you can just use anything you want of his however you want. That's not how it goes. 16, think ahead. Now, what I mean by this is think ahead is you have to, not only when you're working on cars and you're trying to come up with the next step in the work process, you need to think of those next steps, and you need to think, okay, I need to do this, I need to loosen up this, loosen up that. I need to do this, and then this is going to come after that. And a lot of the ways you get that down is read the work instructions. You need to be reading every single work instruction that you have and that you can get your hands on. If you can't find one, I'm sure somebody can help you find it. But you need to at least know in your head what the next step is going to be when you're going to be doing that. And also, which ties into number 17, time management. Now, again, my stall is all the way at the end of the stalls. It is all the way into the shop. So when I'm going to finish up with a car and I have to turn in a repair order, so I'll finish up with the car, get the repair order ready, I'll type up the story on it, I'll fill it out, close out the repair order, then I'll go drive the car, and then from driving the car, I'll go park the car in the car wash, and then right next to the car wash is where you turn in the ROs. I'll go turn in the RO. Right next to that is the restroom, so I'll go to the restroom, and then all the way back to my stall. So I make this big loop out of it. So I'm not going drive a car, stall, turn the paperwork in, stall, bathroom, stall. I'm not zigzagging like that because it takes a lot of time. I regularly get 15,000 or more steps in a day, just because my stall is so far away from everybody else, or from everything, bathroom, booker's office, and whatnot. So, yeah, think ahead. And then, let's see here. Number 18. Don't act like your shit don't stink. And what I mean by that is you're not better than anybody else in the shop. We're all the same. We're all people just coming to work trying to fix cars. Don't act like you're better than everybody else, basically. So, and number 19, yeah, because last one was 18, 19, be nice. And you need to, at the very minimum, you want to have people and team leaders not mind you on their team. At the very minimum. At best, you want them to want you on their team. And you're not going to get you're not going to get there if you're not nice. And what I mean is, be nice, be respectful, joke back with people, make jokes, joke back with them. But again, like number 18, don't act like your shit don't stink, because then they're definitely not going to want you on their team. And then like one of the other trainees, he calls me sir all the time. Well, actually, several of the trainees call me sir. I didn't know I was sir age, but yeah, several of the trainees call me sir. And one of them, when I'd give him a repair order, he would say thank you every time, which is not necessary. I'm not going to tell you have to call me sir or say thank you every time, but it's nice. Okay, it's just respect. That's all it is. Be nice, have respect. Have respect for your elders, and then be able to take a joke as well as make a joke, because it is an automotive shop, and a lot of the jokes that go on there you would not want repeated outside of that shop, and that's just how it is. You have a shop full of, our shop's 30 technicians, and you got 30 guys in there, all with their own sense of humor, all with their own backgrounds and stuff like that, and we all joke with each other back and forth. So it's again, with other people wanting you on their team is what it is. And if you have a good attitude, you have that rapport with the other technicians, and they enjoy your company, you're gonna do well. And that was number 20. Number 21, be part of the team. And like I said before, part of being a trainee is finding your place in the shop, finding your place on a team, because you don't want the trainee or the team leaders and the other technicians being like, I don't want that guy in our team, because You know, if you don't have a team at that shop that says, yeah, we want you on your team, you're going to get the boot. And that's not what you want. You have to be able to mesh with all the other guys in the shop. You want them to want you on their team. That's your goal. And number 22, buy tools. You don't need to buy Snap-on tools, and I would actually recommend you do not, as a trainee, buy Snap-on tools or any other tool from a tool truck / tool pimp. You don't need to be racking up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in tool bills with the tool trucks, because you don't want that hanging over your head. I can't stand it if I owe the tool truck $200. And I see all these reels and YouTube shorts of guys, people going around the shop. Hey, how much do you owe the Snap-on guy? Oh, I owe him $45,000. It's like, holy shit, dude, you don't need to do that. And that's just, I probably would have been there, honestly, if Mercedes-Benz didn't dictate how a shop should look. They have, everything has to be uniform. Every toolbox has to match. They all have to be the same color. You have to have the same color scheme in the shop. So, which means that our dealership, all the toolboxes are built in. So I've never had to buy a toolbox besides this one behind me, which was a Home Depot toolbox. It was $700. I didn't go out and spend $15,000 on a Snap-on toolbox, which is just ridiculous, because even if you spend $15,000 on a toolbox, you still got to fill that thing with tools, and you're talking at least another $15,000 in tools to fill a $15,000 toolbox. And that toolbox doesn't make you money. The tools inside of it do, but the toolbox doesn't make you money. But you can always upgrade. You can buy tools from, I've seen guys with tools from Harbor Freight. Most of my shit's Snap-on tools, or not Snap-on, Amazon tools. I rarely buy Snap-on. I bought one Snap-on set when I was a trainee. It was like $330 for some Torx bits. And that was the first and only set of Snap-on stuff that I bought. Never again. But gear wrench stuff, that stuff works just fine. You can always upgrade. If you break a tool, replace it with the tool truck tool if you want. But you don't have to go spend a decent car's worth of money on tools. You can get so much more by going to Amazon, getting gear wrench tools. I love gear wrench tools. Most of my stuff is gear wrench. Most of the stuff I buy on Amazon, and that stuff never breaks. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I can think of mine that breaks on a regular basis is my tool truck 17 millimeter for taking off wheels. And that thing I've had to replace that thing more than any other tool in my toolbox. And I have gear wrench combination wrenches, gear wrench sockets. I don't have any name brand socket sets. So I would recommend starting with buying tools as you can. Make sure you're always buying tools if this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. And just don't think you have to be in the Snap-on truck in debt, or the Mack truck, or the Matco truck, or the Cornwell truck. You don't need to do that. Number 23, borrowing tools is normal and expected. Like I said, you're not going to have all the tools right away, but buy tools, and you're going to borrow tools because of that. So, but if you break something, if it's not a lifetime warranty, or if you lose something, replace it. That's you're borrowing the team leader's tools or your trainer's tools. If you leave a set of tools in a car, you can probably bet that car is not coming back with those tools. I don't think I've ever lost a tool in a car and had that car come back like, oh, here's some tools. And the last time, one of my trainees left basically all the tools for an alignment in the car. And that was a 21 millimeter, a 15 millimeter, a 13 millimeter, no, it was a 16 millimeter, 18 millimeter combination Cornwell wrench, or a mountain brand, again, not tool truck brand, but the combination with the ratcheting on each end, and an 18 millimeter. And it was about $100 something worth of tools that he just left in a car. That car never came back. And but yeah, he replaced those. And then also flashlights. If you lose a flashlight in a car, flashlights are a lot more expensive than they used to be. I've lost so many Streamlight flashlights. It's not even funny. I've been losing Streamlight flashlights since they were $150. Now they're $400 from the tool truck. So you don't want to have to buy a $400 flashlight. Just don't. Okay, so number 24. This is a career, not a job. And if you're going to be a trainee, you need to be in that mindset, because none of us that are working there, none of the technicians are there, had to go through the same process. Well, I mean, we none of the technicians that are there, that are line techs, are doing this just because it's a job. We're doing it because it's a career. We're not just going to, job hop and do some. I mean, some guys do dealership hop, but I don't. I've only been to one dealership. And this is, if you're going to be doing this the rest of your life, you need to have that mindset that, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. This is what I'm going to be doing for a living. So you need to be able to make the best out of it as you can and be the best technician you can. So that's something to keep in mind. Is where you need to be mentally with when realizing that you're going to be doing this for a living. And then also one thing I want to recommend is, if you love working on cars, if you want to do it, like you want to work on your own car, or you want to fix cars up and everything, or you want to do that, you like doing that on your free time, I would recommend not doing this for a living, because it's very difficult to do this all day, every day, and then go home and then do it for yourself. That's one thing I run into with, doing these videos, rebuilding the engine or engines, and then trying to put other cars together. It's very hard to make myself get off my ass and go do it more when I've already done it all day, every day. So if you enjoy working on your own car and you want to fix up your own car, soup up your own car, whatever you want to call it, I would recommend not doing this for a living. Find something else to do. But, maybe you're that person that you can do both. Fantastic, more power to you. And then finally, one thing you should also get in the mindset of being a trainee is basically like a competition. And your competition is the other trainees. You're not guaranteed, just because you become a trainee, you're not guaranteed to be a line tech down the road. You have to be better, and you should want to be better than the other trainees. That's your immediate goal at that point. Be better than the other trainees, because you can pass someone up. If you're better than them, you can pass them up for the next technician spot. And that's one thing. It's like you should get in that mindset is be the best you can as quickly as you can, because that's how you're going to get that next technician spot and the next pay bump when that comes to the technician spot. Because here in California, trainee, let's see here, I'm not sure what a trainee makes. If it's minimum wage in California is going to be $16 an hour here pretty soon. So, but a technician, line tech, their minimum wage, because they're required to have their own tools, is double minimum wage. So they're going to get another $16 an hour pay bump, which is probably going to be $32 an hour here in the state of California as a minimum wage for automotive technicians. So you want that, double increase in pay. That's what your goal should be. So make sure you're better than the other trainees, and make sure you're the one that gets that next technician spot. So that's it for that. That's all I have. Just those 25 talking points, and make sure that you do the best you can and get in that mindset of being a hustler and hustling and just getting stuff done and moving as quickly as possible. That's what we're looking for when we're looking for trainees. So if you're in UTI right now and you're listening to this or watching this, then make sure you have that mindset. You got to be better than the next guy. So thank you for watching. Make sure you give me that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification icon so you get notifications when I post a new video. Thanks for watching and listening.